Brigadier, you're still under oath.
Yes, why not?
Brigadier Gininda, it was alleged that in cross-examination to Sergeant Mokhane and Sergeant Mukhola that you were present at 2 scenes of assault. The first scene being near the steel stairs. It was put to Sergeant Mokhane and Mukhola that you arrived with Sergeant Mukhola and a gentleman in braces. It would appear that it is suggested that it was on the 18th of June 2020. There's the first scene. The second scene, it was put to the 2 witnesses, Sergeant Mokhane and Mukhola, that on the 19th of June, you were present near a dumping place at Orlando where there were disused ATM machines, that you came with Sergeant Mukhola in a white BMW, that you had documents in your possession that you gave to Colonel Rapadu, on which accused number 2 was forced to put his thumbprint, and that later this process was completed at Moroka Police Station, the process of thumbprinting. What is your comment on this?
So just before
allegations.
Can lana ke umshushisi manje ke utshela noma ubuza ke ubrigadier ukuthi ke lana kuneyintolo ke ezilethiwe bofakazi bebekhona la enkantolo uMukhane kanye noMukhalo ukuthi ke kuneyindawo ezimbili nama amasini amabili eyoqala nge-18 ka June 2020 la kuthiwa khona ke kwakuneyinsimbi khona la kuthiwa okwashaywa khona ke umsola nokuthi futhi eyesibili kwange-19 ka June 2020 eduze ke kwendawo la kwahlela khona ke izibi engase Orlando enabo nemishini ke ye-ATM engasetshenziswa lapha khona ke wafika khona ubrigadier ehamba nayo uSergeant Mukhola base futhi bephethe ke idocument awayinikeza ke ubrigadier so uKenel Rapadu.
Sorry, before you respond, Mr. Baloyi, are you correct when you say in the first scene? This is alleged, so just put to the brigadier that he was at a place of steel poles.
Not. Look, there was that first scene near the garage.
Yes, you must put everything because
yes,
we shouldn't have problem about
that's a good place.
The assertions.
Yes, that after the initial assault near a garage in Alberton, that they proceeded to this place where there were still chairs.
No, man, there was a dumping place. Am I quoting you correctly, Mr.
That's correct. Yes.
And thereafter taken to
yes.
the place where there are steel poles,
yes.
handcuffed into blah blah blah.
Indeed, my lord.
The dumping places there. Those steel pipes in the dumping area.
Also, it's one area. What incorporates the dumping area and the steel pipes?
No, same area.
Same area?
Yes, same area.
Okay, fine, yeah.
All right. So, my lord, that's not true, first of all. That did not happen. So, I would want to answer from the 19th moving backwards.
Okokuqala nje angisho nje ukuthi lokho akusona iqiniso mangiphendula ke ngizoqala ke kusona i19 ngibuyele emuva ke.
So on the 19th of June, my lord, 2020, it is incorrect that there was such an incident because Sergeant Mukhola, I want to start with her, she was taking, I think, accused number 1 to court, and the charge sheet, the defense is in possession of the charge sheet insofar as the drug-related matter. So that morning, she booked the accused from Valeria to Tembisa Court, and then the accused was taken back on that specific day, on the 19th of June 2020.
Ngazo i-19 ka June 2020 ke ilanga lelo ke uSergeant Mukhola angiqale ngaye ke akhipha ngalo kuma ngaphosisi ke umsolo wokuqala emikisa noma emhambisa ke emkhipha kumasela aseValeria emhambisa enkantolo yasethembisa cabanga ukuthi ke abameli banayo ke ne-charge sheet yangalelo langa lelo.
The defense, my lord, is also in possession of the relevant entry books, OB entries, that confirms that indeed accused one was booked from the police station for court purposes and back. The time is clearly indicated there.
Futhi ke abameli banawo ke namakhopi ke alama OB books noma le incwadi ezisetshenziswayo ekubhala kuzona ke police station noma kuma cell ezichazayo ukuthi ngesikhathi esithize ke wakhishwa ke wabe sefuthi eseyabusela abameli banawo lawo makhopi lawo.
And on that specific day, my lord, she was not issued at that stage with a BMW. She was driving a red VW GTI, which was the car that was issued by me as a commander for her utilization.
Ngaleso sikhathi leso ke wayengahambi ke nge-BMW wayehamba ke nge-VW GTI ebomvu ngombala eyakhishwa yimina ke nanjengomphathi noma ke i-commander yakhe.
Furthermore, my lord, I was not with her on that specific day. I was doing my admin duties at the national office, and I was nowhere near her during the course of the day.
Futhi ke ngalelo langa lelo ngangekho ndawonye naye ke mina ngangenza ke imisebenzi yami ke e-office e-national office angaze nje ngisondele ke yena ke noma ngisebese eduze la akhona ngazo ngalelo langa lelo lange-19.
The only time we met, my lord, was later that evening, say late afternoon, when we proceeded to follow the investigation insofar as the hood is concerned of accused number 2. That was the only time we were in the same vehicle, and we met accused number 2 with the members in Phuket. That was my first encounter with accused number 2.
Futhi ke uma sesihlangana ke ihamba ilanga la sesihambile ke ngalelo suku lolo ke sesimanje sesiyokwenza ke noma siyoqhubeka ngophenyo lwehudi ngokumayelana naye ke umsolo wesibili futhi ke sahlangana naye umsolo ke ekanye namanye amalunga ePhukeng yilapho ke la esathi ke saba semotweni eyodwa mina naye ngalelo langa lelo.
And my directive, my lord, when we moved from Johannesburg, this is now me and Sergeant Mkhula, I instructed the members, this is now Sergeant Mokhane and Sergeant Mabena, to meet me at Phuking SAPS. That is where we reported with the accused, and from there we were accompanied by the local police officers to the address of accused number 2.
Futhi ke mina ke uma manje sengitshela ke amaphoyisa ke ukuthi ke asihlangane kuphi ngabatshela ke ukuthi ke asihlanganeni e-police station yasePhukeng ila esahlangana khona noma esaqala khona ke naye ke umsolwa sasesiphelezelwa ke amaphoyisa akhona lapho siya kwindawo leyo ke owayehlala khona ke umsolwa.
So up to then, my lord, up to the time when the search was conducted, dockets opened, accused detained and transferred to Primrose, there was no assault that I witnessed, and I'm referring now to Phuking because the only time I came face to face with the accused 2 on that specific day was in Phuking, my lord.
Futhi ke lapho ke ePhukeng ngoba ke ila engahlangana khona ke nomsolwa ke ePhukeng usikhathi ke la ekuyoseshwa khona ke sekuvulwa ke idokodo ke esendluliselwa ePrimrose lapho nje akukho ukushaywa okwenzeka ngikhona engakubona mina.
Furthermore, my lord, as I indicated yesterday, after the docket of possession of unlicensed ammunition was opened, accused number 2 was detained, was taken through the books in Phuking, and those OB entries clearly reflects that there was no complaint of injuries reflected in those OBs, and those OBs are in possession of the defense.
Futhi ke uma umsolo wesibili ke esendluliswa ke ndluliselwa khona ke ePrimrose kubhaliwe ke lapha ngoba ke kuma copy abanawo abameli ama OB alapha yana ke ePrimrose akukho la akushiwo noma ebhalwe khona ke ukuthi washaywa.
No, I mean at Phuking. So first he was detained in Phuking and then transferred to Primrose. Yeah. So both stations. Phuking's, there's no such entry, and such OB entries, my lord, are in possession of the defense.
Ngicela ngifuna ukuthi ke ngisho ke ePhukeng ukuthi kuzozo imbili le iteshi lesi iPhukeng nala andluliselwe khona ke ePrimrose kuzona zo imbili ke lezo ncwadi noma ama OB akhona ke akukho nje la ekubhalwe khona.
So the version that he was assaulted in my presence on the 19th, my lord, is false. I was not part of that, and I'm not aware of such because it would have been reflected somewhere in the entries that there's some complaint of some assault, or I would have been told. Even himself during the interaction, my lord, he never said anything to me on that day.
Ngakho ke leyo nkulumo yokuthi washaywa ke eshaywa ngikhona ke ngakubona ke mina lokho ungamanga lokho ngoba ke akukho la akubhalwe khona naye ke nkathi ngikhulumisana naye akakazeke ayikhulume noma ayisho leyo nto leyo.
My lord, on the events of the 18th, it's also false. I was not. The only thing that, perhaps if the court can just give me a few minutes, I just want to refresh my memory with my diary.
Before you refresh your memory from the diary, to which period does that diary relate?
So the diary will relate to the relevant dates in question, my lord, insofar as these confessions are concerned. So it will cover the date of the 30th when accused one, 30th of May 2020 when accused one was arrested, insofar as my interview that I had with him. It will also cover the 31st of May because I was on duty. It will cover also, well, it covers most of the dates, but the relevant dates for this purpose, my lord, will be also the 4th of June when I made arrangements with Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe for the pointing out. It will also cover the events of the 5th of June, that is the day of the pointing out. It will cover also the 19th, that is in relation to accused number 2. It will cover also the 22nd, that's when I obtained the statement from Mr. Melder, the dental examination that was done, and the appearances, of course, of accused number 2 in Kabang in that court on that specific day. It will cover also the arrangements of the 24th of June, that is in relation to the confession that was made to the magistrate. Magistrate by accused number 2.
What about the 23rd?
I'm going there, yes, my lord. That it will also cover the events of the 23rd of June 2020, where there was this interaction between myself, accused number 2, and his attorney.
ebecela isikhathi-ke ubrigadier ukuthi kabheke nje idayari yakhe-ke ukuthi ayikhumbuzeke ukuthi kwenzekani-ke bese mbuza umshushi ukuthi ngaphambilini kokuthi wenze lokho-ke ukuthi amaphi amalanga-ke idayari le yakho ezawakhava noma-ke ezokhuluma ngawo idate yangeyi-30 kanye neyi-31 zikaMeyi ngo-2020 idate yangeyi-4 zikaJune la khona-ke engangikhulumisana khona no-Colonel Hadebe mayelana-ke ne-pointing out ekwakufanele ukuthi iyokwenziwa-ke bese kuba-ke yi-5 zona-ke lezo ey'kaJune ilanga lelo i-pointing out eyenziwa ngalo idate yangeyi-19 kanye nazo-ke i-22 kanye futhi-ke ngeyi-22 kwakwenza ukulungiselelwa-ke ukuthi-ke umsolwa manje esezohamba-ke eye ayokhulumisana-ke nemantshi bese kuba yilanga langeyi-24 la khona-ke ayihlezi phansi khona nemantshi egonyuluka kuyona-ke kanye neyi-23 la khona-ke kwakuyimina ukhuluma yena ubrigadier umsolwa kanye nommeli umjiyakho.
My lord, I just recalled, it will also cover the 18th, the 18th that they are alleging, because on that day, it is the day when we went to follow his alibi, but I only met him late in the afternoon, not during the day. That is to follow the first false alibi that he gave us that says he was at work.
Futhi-ke nalo ilanga langeyi-18-ke uma ngizobheka-ke idayari yami-ke nalo lizomkhumbuza izongitshela-ke noma lizofaka-ke lela langa langeyi-18 i-18-ke ngahlangana naye-ke ngalelo langa lelo-ke imini isihambile-ke noma ilanga selihambileke sasizohamba-ke siye emsebenzini angithi yilona owathi wayesemsebenzini ngalelo langa sasiyohamba-ke siyolandelela-ke leyo nkulumo awayeyishilo.
So the events of the 18th, my lord, I only encountered the accused in Carltonville, where I've already laid that evidence, my lord. I was introduced and I questioned him about this matter, the matter before court. He gave me an alibi. We went to his work, which was not far from where we were. It was found to be false. Certain admissions were made, confessions were made. You know, I've explained that, my lord, yesterday. Thereafter, my lord, I left to Johannesburg with Sergeant Mohola. I was not in his company, and I didn't see him from then, my lord.
Futhi-ke ilanga lange-18 nanjengoba bese ngishilo-ke ukuthi-ke sahlangana khona-ke naye-ke ephukeni eCarltonville ila khona-ke kwakufanele ukuthi okokuqala-ke siyobheka-ke noma siyolalela lento ayekhuluma ukuthi-ke wayesemsebenzini yena ngalela langa ekwatholakala-ke ukuthi kwangasilona-ke iqiniso emuva kwalokho-ke ngase ngibuyela khona-ke Johannesburg ngihamba naye uSergeant Mohola.
So when I left Carltonville, my lord, I did not see him on that specific day. The only time I saw him was on the 19th, late in the afternoon, at Bukeng Police Station.
Ukusho ukuthi-ke ngalelo langa-ke angiphindanga ngibona uma sengihamba-ke eCarltonville. Uma ngiphinda ngimbona manje-ke ngelanga elilandelayo-ke ngazo i-19 Phukeng.
Phukeng is it? Yes.
Phukeng.
Police station.
The police station, yes, Phukeng.
Brigadier, if we can just get back to your diary, when did you make those entries in your diary? On those relevant dates?
On the specific day, my lord, so it's an official diary of 2020, so it was documented, per day as the events were unfolding. So we'll sit down, record what transpired. So it was documented on specific days of 2020.
Le diary ke ngikhuluma ngayo diary nje yomsebenzi ke eya unyaka u2020 ukuthi ilanga nelanga ke ngizohlala phansi ke ngibhale ke ngisho ukuthi yini eyenzeka ngalelo langa lelo.
So you say you documented these events as they unfolded. Were the events still fresh in your memory when you made those entries?
Yes, they were very fresh, my lord.
Lokho ke uma ngibhala phansi ke kwakuyinto ke eyayisekhona noma eyayisefresh ke la emqondweni yami ukusho ukuthi into eyayiqeda nje ukwenzeka ngibhala ngaleso sikhathi leso.
So earlier on you indicated that you want to refresh your memory from the diary. For which date will they be?
No, I remembered, my lord. At the time I was thinking I wanted to find out where I was. I wanted to remind myself where I was on the 18th because I was told there were allegations that I was somewhere where accused number 2 was assaulted. Now I do recall that I was not near accused number 2 on the 18th, except when we met at Phukeng police station in the early evening. When we met at Sibiya mine, outside Sibiya mine, to follow his alibi of where he was on the day of the commission of this offense.
Uma ke bengifisa ke ubheka idiary yami ke angithi bekunale nkulumo ke ethi ngangikhona ke endaweni ethize la ayeshaya khona umsolo wesibili kodwa ke sengize ngakhumbula ukuthi ngakuphi ngahlangana naye ke esibanye la khona ke sasizohamba siyobheka ke siyoqinisekisa ukuthi ngempela wayesemsebenzini ngalelanga yena ayesho ngalo ukuthi wayesemsebenzini.
You have referred to the occurrence book of Phukeng Police Station, which is exhibit PP 1 and 2, which you placed on record yesterday. And you also referred to the occurrence book from Primrose Police Station, exhibit QQ, which you also placed on record yesterday.
Yes. That is correct, my lord. I can also indicate that on the 18th of June 2020, I also, during the arrangement of this trial, my lord, had the privilege to go and collect those OBs and make copies for the defense, as I indicated. Nowhere, even on the date of the 18th of June 2020, does it indicate that when accused was booked out by Sergeant Mokane, he was returned with injuries. There were regular hourly inspections. There was officers that were doing regular inspections. Nowhere does it indicate that when he was taken back after the investigation, he had injuries or complaint.
Lana ke okunye futhi engikhumbula engakusho mayelana nalo ke ilanga la nge-18 zika June 2020 ukuthi mina ke kwaba yimina ke wahamba ke eyothatha ke lezo incwadi ezibizwa ukuthi ama-OB ngizokwenza ke amakhophi ke ayizondluliselwa kubona ke abameli akukho ke la ekwashiwo khona noma ekubhalwe khona ke ukuthi nkathi ke esebuyiselwa yena ke uSergeant Mokane umsola wesibili ukuthi wabuya ke elimele noma ke ebuya ke esho ke ukuthi cha yena ke uyakhala ke kukhona okwenzeka kuyena.
Well, you've referred to the entries from Vilera Police Station on the 19th of June 2020 when Sergeant Mohola collected accused number 1 from Vilera Police Station to take him to Tembisa Court.
That is correct, my lord.
Ngikhulumile ke ngelanga la nge-19 la ngithi ke Sergeant Mohola wayelanda khona ke umsolo wokuqala e-police station yaseValeria ezomhambisa kamise enkantolo yaseThembisa.
That forms part, those entries form part of exhibit NN, pages 19 to 20. Can I just ask you to put those entries on record?
Yes, indeed, my lord. So it will be the OB entry from Valera SAPS, and time that is reflected, it's 0920, date is 2020-06-19. And the entry reads as follows, my lord. Suspect out. Sergeant Mukula, number, it reflects the personal number. Booked out one suspect, Muzi Temba Sibiya, case number 217/03/2020, SAP 1412/06/2020, dealing in drugs. 2 Tembisa Court, without any injuries, correctly received, and the sergeant signed for him for receiving accused number 1, my lord.
Lana ke kufundeka ngalendlela ukuthi date kwakunge 19 ka June 2020, isikhathi ke 0920 umsola ukhishiwe uSergeant Mukula, bhaliwe ke number yakhe umsebenzi, nomsola oyedwa umuzi Sithemba Sibiya, icase number 21703/2020, iSAP 141206/2020, sebenza ke idakamizwa, utholakala nedakamizwa emikisa noma emhambisa enkantolo iyasethembisa ekungekho ke akhale ngako kanye futhi ke wamukeleka kahle.
And the next entry, my lord, it's still on the same day, 2020-06-19, time 2020. It reads as follows: suspect back from Tembisa Court with Sergeant Mukula, 1 Muzi Temba Sibiya, SAP 1443/06/2020, case 217/03/2019, dealing in drugs, correctly received. And then he was received by the officer at the police station.
Bese landelayo ke isikhathi ke u12:20 umsola uyabuya enkantolo yasethembisa kanye naye uSergeant Mukula, umsola wakhe umuzi Sithemba Sibiya, iSAP 144306 ka2020, icase 21703 ka2020, iqala leyidakamizwa, utholakele kahle noma ke ubuye wamukelwa kahle.
Was your unit ever issued out with a white BMW?
Yes, it is, my lord. It's a car that she's using now. This is now Sergeant Mukula, but she was only issued with that vehicle in 2021.
Ingabe sikhona yini isikhathi la khona ke iunit yakho ke yakhishelwa khona ke ukuthi isebenzise ke iBMW emhlophe? Yebo, kuyiqiniso lokho ke usebenzisa yona ke njengamanje, kodwa imoto leyo ke uyayithola noma uyithole ngo2021.
And she has used that vehicle, my lord, to transport, in particular, on different occasions, accused 1 and 2. This is now during the proceedings of this trial and other matters. So they may have seen it there because they've traveled inside that vehicle, but it was only issued in 2021 for the first time.
Imoto lena ke kungenzeka ke ukuthi ke bayibona ke ngoba ke imoto lena uyisebenzisile ke amahlandla ke ehambisa yena umsolo wokuqala kanye nomsolo wesibili ke bake bangena bagibela ngaphakathi ke kuleyo moto, kungakho kungenzeka ukuthi basike bayibona kuleli cala leli futhi nakwamanye ke emacala abahambisela wona.
Sorry, this BMW, what model is it?
It's
a
a
3 Series, 5 Series, 7 Series?
It's
you're alleged to have set on the hood after it was lifted or opened. So how big is it?
No, it's not big. It's a 3 Series. It's
3
a 330.
Series?
Yeah, it's a 3 Series, my lord.
Uthi 3 series ke 330.
And I deny that allegation, my lord, because as I said, when I spoke to Colonel Rapado telephonically, I had not seen him before. I didn't know how he looks like. I've never worked with him anywhere, nor have I ever, passed part with him in terms of investigation. The only time I laid eyes with him was the following day when I went to his office to collect the statement and the pro forma. That was the first time we met.
Futhi ke lezo intsholo lezo ke ngiyayiphikisa ke noma ngiyayiphika ke ngoba ke angikaze ke ngihlangane naye ke uKolonel Rapado. Uma ngikhuluma naye ngikhulume naye ngocingo ke, futhi uma ngiqala nje na ke ukuthi ngimbone ke ukuthi noma sihlanganise ke amehlo kwakungelanga elilandelayo uma sengiyolanda ke yona ke leya proforma kuyena, futhi ngingakaze nje ngisebenzisane naye noma mhlambe kwenzeke ukuthi ke siphenye ke icala elilodwa noma uphenyo lusihlanganise.
Fair, my lord, when I was going through the AVL, because I was asked obviously to get the AVL for Sergeant Mukhane's vehicle, I do not recall seeing that vehicle stopping at an area where there's an ATM dumping site in Soweto. I mean, I went through it, my lord. I've not seen that. And the defense is also in possession of these AVL records.
Futhi ke imina ke umuntu eceliwe ke ukuthi ke manje akahlanganiseke lo yambiko wemoto ohamba kwemoto obizwa ngokuthi ke iAVL imoto eyayishayelwa uyena uSergeant Mukhane. Akukho la khona ke ngibone khona imoto ima noma ima kwindawo ke la kulahlwa khona ke izibi noma futhi indawo nama ATM.
They say it was at Orlando. They don't say east or west, they say Orlando.
No, I didn't see that vehicle, my lord, stopping there. What I know, they went down passing Barra. That is where the GPC unlock happened, going to Morocco, and they used the same route because I tried to check the route that they were using. That vehicle didn't stop in Orlando, my lord. And with all my experience that I have in the police, I've never seen ATM being dumped in a field. I've never seen that.
Futhi ke uma bekhuluma ke beshilo ukuthi uthi udaji kabashonga ukuthi Orlando East noma eWest kuthiwe nje Orlando kodwa mina ke mangibheka iAVL yana ngonile ke imoto uma iya eMoroka indlula khona eBara futhi ke kwisikhathi njena engisebenzile ke amaphoyisa akukho la engeke ngabona khona ke iATM ilahlwa nje endaweni nje noma ikuphi.
And what is your comment on the allegations that you gave Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu documentation?
But it's not true, my lord. As I said, I was not there. I mean, I only met Colonel Rapadu when I went to collect the confession form that he took, as well as his statement the following day, because he also didn't give it to the members. And I met him in Enadale SAPS. I was alone, and he was also alone. There was no activities around accused 2. I was never in Morocco, my lord, on that day. I never went to Morocco. I simply made arrangements.
Uthinike ngeinsolo lezi zokuthi wena ke wanikeza ke uKenel Rapadu idocument. Lokho ke akusilona iqiniso ngoba ke angiyanga ke eMorocco uKenel Rapadu ngihlangene naye ke ngelanga elilandelayo futhi ke angihlangananga naye eMorocco ngangihamba ngedwa naye ke wayeyedwa sahlangana ehhovisi lakhe noma ke la sebenza khona ke eNadale.
Now, it was also put to Sergeant Mukhane that on the 17th of June 2020 at Pretoria North Police Station, when he booked out accused number 2 to question him in the boardroom there at Pretoria North Police Station, that you were also present with Sergeant Mukhola. What is your comment?
No, but that's not true, my lord. I only met accused number 2 for the first time on the 18th. And that was the first time late afternoon. That was the first time I came face to face with him. And that is where I questioned him about this matter. And he gave me the first alibi that was found to be false. That was my first encounter with him, my lord.
Uba use uthinike manje ngaloko okushiwo ke kena ke uSergeant Mukhola ukuthi ke wawukhona ke noma nge-17 zika June 2020 epolice station yasePretoria North ilapho na ke akhipha ke umsolo wesibili eyokhulumisana naye ke nawe ukhona ke lapho uthi ke ubrigadier umephendula ke akusilona iqiniso lelo ngoba uma ngiqala mina nga ukuthi ngihlangane naye umsolo wesibili kwakungeyi-18 zika June ngo-2020 la ngikhulumisana naye khona ke asenginikeza le alibi noma esho ukuthi wayekuphi la ngathola khona ukuthi kangasilona iqiniso.
If I was, my lord, I mean, I can just add that if I was, then I would have documented such, because it would have been an important engagement with him. So I was never there, my lord, so that is not true.
Uma kuwukuthi ngempela ke ngangilapho ke yinto leyo engangizoyibhala phansi ngoba kwakuzoba yinto ke esemqoka noma ebalulekile ke manje ke lokho akusilona ke iqiniso ngangekho lapho.
Now, as far as the confession to Magistrate Skoronier is concerned, Exhibit JJ, it was put to Sergeant Mukhane that after the proceedings there at Boksburg Magistrate Court, he was taken to a bush in Jamestown where he was assaulted and forced to sign the documents, and that the documents were stained in blood. I just want to show you the original exhibit JJ, the pro forma completed by Ms. Cronier, as well as the statement.
It's not a bush.
Was it?
Industrial area.
Industrial area.
That's
That's where they assaulted.
Yes. As I got this. It's been corrected to refer to an industrial area where he was assaulted. Are there any signs of blood stains on the original document?
No, there are none, my lord.
Okunye futhi ke ukuthi kuyena ke exhibit JJ lona loku sona ke statement esathathwa kuyena ke umantshi magistrate Cronier. Okunye futhi okwashiwo ke lana ukuthi ke wathathwa ke umsolo wakhe wasiwa endaweni ethize ke khona lapho eJemiston waphoqwa ke ukuthi asayindeke ama documents lawo ayenegazi ke ngabe ke kuleli oliphethe ke khona nje la ubona khona ukuthi ke kunga negazi uthi cha.
And when you received the exhibit JJ, were there any signs of blood stains on it?
No, there were none, my lord. But also to suggest that the judicial officer will give a form to the police officer to get somebody signed and bring it to her. I've never heard of this, my lord. I mean, we are talking about a magistrate who is not part of the investigation team. The arrangements were not made even by me directly. I went through the senior public prosecutor, as I indicated, Advocate Hank Stradom. I don't even know this magistrate face to face. I've not met her even during the consultation as I'm standing here. So why would she participate in such, my lord? But in essence, there's no blood. I've not seen such, my lord. So this is not true, my lord.
Akusona iqiniso le alikho igazi angaze ngilibona ke igazi kule document leni kodwa ke akuchazayo ke ubrigadier ukuthi into nje engazwakali ke lana noma eyindida ke ukuthi imantshi ingathatha ke idocument inikeze ke iphoyisa noma inikeze nje umuntu ukuthi akayophoqa ke noma ayinikeza umuntu ukuthi asayinde bese kubuyiselwa kuyena ke angaze ngihlangana nayo imantshi lena futhi ke akumina owakhulumisana naye mina ngakhuluma ke nophetha beshushisi noma ke isenior prosecutor kwaba uyena ke kuze kube manje angaze nje ngihlangane naye imantshi leyo angaze ngiyizwe lento ekhulunywayo noma eshiwayo.
Are you suggesting that it's possible that I mean, the allegation obviously makes the possibility that this magistrate Cronier was corrupt?
That's why I'm shocked, my lord,
And,
because I don't
she
believe
probably,
it.
I don't know, if she, in her corrupt actions,
Yes. That's why I'm saying.
could have probably been bought or paid, or maybe she's a good Samaritan, she was doing it out of her own goodwill, but that's a corrupt type of conduct which you say you can't expect from a magistrate.
No, not from the judicial officer, my lord, because I've never in all
With
my
a career, in line.
Yes, put a career in line for something that has nothing to do with it. In particular, my lord, there was an attorney. I've confirmed that accused number 2 was legally represented. Why will she go through all that process for what, my lord? Whether the attorney is there or not. So it really, I've never heard of this, my lord. So I don't buy it. I don't think it's true. It doesn't hold water in my own understanding, my lord.
Mina ke lokho into nje engazwakali angikholwa futhi ke engikushilo ke ukuthi ke ummeli wayekhona ke kwakungani ke ukuthi wayezokwenza konke lokho ke imantshi kodwa ke umsolo wesibili wayenayo ummeli owayekhona lapha yana ngaleliya langa leliya ukuthi azabeke nje umsebenzi wakhe ke engcupheni akwenze konke lokho.
Now, the AVL aspect, Mr. Dupree testified that the AVL records indicate that on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the vehicle used by Sergeant Mokhani, the Toyota Fortuner, was in Benoni at the repair workshop.
Correct. That is correct, my lord. I'm aware. It had mechanical problem and it was in there for repairs, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso ke ngiyakwazi lokho ke ukuthi le moto yayinenkinga ke ngalamalanga ke achaziwe i22, 23 kanye ne24 ukuthi yayisebhinoni la eyayilungiswa khona ke ngoba imoto yayinenkinga.
I'm also aware, my lord, that he was on those specific days when he was embarking. This is Sergeant Mokhani now on his investigation. He was using Sergeant Mapena's vehicle. In other words, they were working together. He was driving Toyota Fortuner, the late now. Toyota, not Toyota Fortuner, Toyota double cab, the white one, the late Sergeant Mapena.
engikwaziyo futhi ukuthi ngalawo malanga-ke imoto yakhe-ke yayinenkinga-ke wayesebenzisa-ke noma-ke ehamba kanye-ke nongasekho uSergeant Mabhena yena-ke wayehamba-ke nge-Toyota A-double cab.
Do you know as to when this vehicle, the Toyota Fortuner, developed mechanical problems?
I think I first heard about the issues on the 18th, my lord. Somewhere in the evening, Sergeant Mokgane will phone me that they've got mechanical issues and that he will. I advise him rather to get standby team, while they are attending to that, because I know that accused number 2 was with them, my lord. That was the first time I heard about the mechanical issues.
Uma sengizwa-ke mina-ke ngokuthi imoto yayinenkinga ngicabanga ukuthi kwangalo-ke ilanga lange-18 futhi ngamcela-ke ukuthi ngoba-ke ngiyazi ukuthi wayekanye naye-ke umsolo wesibili ngase ngimcela-ke ukuthi-ke athole-ke abezomlekelela noma-ke i-standby.
Thank you, my lord. Those are the only aspects that we wanted to raise with Brigadier Gininda. We've indicated to my learned friends that we will no longer be proceeding with the written statements.
Yeah, of course. Are you still?
My lord. I'm going to make a request, my lord.
Yeah, you made it in the passage.
Yes.
Are you still intending to say we must adjourn and you come back?
My lord, and I've discussed with my colleague as well in relation to the dates that were mentioned by Brigadier Gininda on the diary. You will make copies of the diary in relation to such dates.
Yeah.
And
No, it's
my lord,
fair. Actually, I was going to suggest that.
the matter stand down until.
No, I was going to suggest that the brigadier must make his diary, not copies, physically available to all the defense counsels. I hope nothing happens like when Mohano made a report,
Yes.
so that you can, all of you, peruse
Yes.
Brigadier
Gininda.
Gininda's diary, because he says he was recording these things contemporaneously and extemporaneously into his diary. And then if you have any problems with that, you can raise it under cross-examination.
Court, please.
Okay. Is it okay if they,
Yes, my lord.
for the particular dates,
For the particular dates, my lord, I wanted to say that.
not when you are visiting me?
Yes, of course, my lord.
Okay. But there's one aspect, Mr. Baloyi, which we haven't covered, which is covered by Sergeant Mokgane, concerning accused number 1 being at Silverton, blah, blah. You remember that evidence? Please, just cover it.
Oh, okay.
Because it has moment in this case. If you don't remember.
Yes, during the appearance in Tembisa, it was on the 10th of July 2020, accused number 1 informed the magistrate that he was assaulted at the Silverton police cells. It was put to Sergeant Mukhola that accused number 1 was assaulted at Silverton police cells, and we just want to read out the entry to you. As I mentioned, it was on the 10th of July 2020. And the entry reads as follows. It says, legal aid. This is what the defense of accused number 1 put in record. The accused being assaulted by SAPD Silverton, what is your comment?
My lord, yes, it was
And he then requested that she be kept
Modabi.
at Modabi.
Yes. No, I do recall, my lord, it was brought to my attention by Sergeant Mukhola. When she informed me, my lord, I said she must do the following things. 1, obtain an affidavit from accused number 1 in relation to the alleged assault, because my understanding is that the assault would have been committed by people at Silverton SAPS. So that was my first instruction.
Uzothinike noma ke uthinike uma uphendula ngoba ke nge-10 zikaJuly 2020 umsolo ke evela ke enkantolo ke bachazela ke imanje ukuthi bashaywa amaphoyisa ase-Silverton. Mephendula ke ubrigadier uthi yebo ke lokho uSergeant Mukhola wangitshela ke ngathi ke akenze lokho okulandelayo. Okokuqala athole ke i-statement esifungelwe affidavit kuyena umsolo wokuqala.
Secondly, that she must take him for medical examination for the completion of what we call J88 form, which will indicate the points of injuries, my lord.
Okwesibili ke ukuthi ke amthathe ke ahambe noma uya naye ke kudokotela uya naye ke esibhedlela lapho na ke kuzogcwaliswa noma kubhalwe ke iform ebizwa ngokuthi ke i-J88 ekuyiyona ke ezochaza ke ukulimala noma la alimele khona.
Furthermore, my lord, to obtain any witness statements that would be mentioned.
Nokuthi ke athole ke izitatimende zofakazi abangachazwa noma kushiwo ukuthi ubani nobani abawofakazi.
And thereafter, my lord, to register the case docket of assault, depending on the gravity, my lord. Whether common assault or assault GPH, and then bring the docket to me, my lord.
Ukuthi ke noma kulandelayo ke ukuthi ke ase ebhalisa ke noma eregister ke idokodoke lokushaywa noma ukuthi ukushaywa nje noma ke ukushaywa ke ngenhloso yokulimaza abesemveni emuva kwalokho ke aliletha kumina.
Yeah, sorry, what about the occurrence books from Silverton police station?
Yes, I'm going there, my lord.
Yes,
So that was the first part. So the occurrence book, I'm coming to them, my lord. So this was the first part that I communicated to them. And then thereafter, my lord, she came back to me and said, accused number 1 is refusing to give a statement or subject himself for medical examination.
Bengisezwe yake kubona kama occurrence book ase Silverton kwaba yilapho ke kokuqala ke lokho engakusho kena wase buyela kumina ke uSergeant Mukhola engitshela ke ukuthi ke umsolo wokuqala ke unqabile noma uyanqaba ukuthi ke anikezeleke nestatement esifungelwe affidavit nokuthi futhi ke ahambe ke ayobona udokotela.
And that he doesn't want to open the case.
Nokuthi ke akanaso nje isifiso noma akananhloso nje yokuthi ke angavula icala.
My lord, I then asked her to go to Silverton police station and peruse the OB entries to try and establish if there is any entry indicating such an assault.
Ngase ngimcela ke ukuthi akahambe ke manje aye epolice station yase Silverton ahambe ke ayobheka incwadi zakhona lezi ebizwa ngokuthi ke ama occurrence book abheke ke ukuthi uzobona yini ukuthi khona ke yini okusho lokho okubhaliwe.
And interview the members that were on duty on that day in relation to what might have happened when he was booked out or during the night.
Futhi ke abeseba ne-interview noma lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke inhlolo khono ke nalabo base Silverton ababesebenza ngalelo langa lelo basho ukuthi kwenzekani.
My lord, that was done and I was told, which I've also satisfied myself at a later stage, that there were no such entries or anyone who was aware of such an assault.
Kwenziwa ke lokho nami ngase ngize nezakhe ngokuthi ke ngenzeke isiqinisekiseko ngathola ke ukuthi ke akukho nje okukhuluma ngalokho okwabhalwa lapha kwincwadi zakhona eSilverton.
Furthermore, my lord, when I was now obviously embarking on doing my own investigation, I further went to the prison because when new admissions, they call them new admissions, when you get admitted for the first time in prison, they will record the conditions that you come in. almost like us. So if there are medical issues that you have, or if it's injuries or whatever that the prisoner has, will be documented on the first entry.
Ngase ngizenzela mina ke olwami ke uphenyo ngokuthi ngihambeke ngiye ejele ngoba ke nabo ke bayafana nathi ke uma umuntu eqala ke kufika noma engena kubona ke nabo ke khona ke obhalwa phansi ke uma ukuthi kunezimo noma isimo onazo ongaphathekile kahle nabo babhala phansi lokho.
My Lord, I did not find any documented complaint of assault or injury mentioned by accused number 1 to the prison officials.
Angizange ngithole lutho ke okwashiwo noma kwakhulunywa yena umsola wokuqala ekhuluma noma esho kulaba abasebenza ejele mayela nokushaywa noma ukulimala.
And these investigations, my Lord, only draw one conclusion that I don't think it was true, my Lord, because surely something must have been found somewhere if it was the truth. And the victim himself, in this instance, accused number 1, should have raised or rather said something to someone if perhaps Sergeant Mukula was the person that she was not comfortable with, or he was not comfortable with.
Lokho ke kuholela nje kuyinto eyodwa ke ukuthi ke akusilona ke iqiniso lokho ngoba ke khona nje la bekumele ukuthi nje kutholakala khona noma uma kube ukuthi ke wayengakhululekile ukuthi ke akhulume kuyena uSergeant Mukhala wayengakhuluma nomunye umuntu.
It was put to Sergeant Mukhola that what the accused meant to convey in that entry was that he wanted to be transferred from Silverton police station to prison because the investigating officers are assaulting him when he's kept at the police stations. And the following names were mentioned as the persons who assaulted him: Ngamani, Sergeant Mukhola, Mabena, Butelezi, Jonathan, and Mapumulo.
My Lord, I think the charge sheet is self-explanatory. There is no entry indicating that accused number 1 was assaulted by the investigation team. That's the first part.
Futhi ke okunye ke akuchaziwe noma okushiwo ke ukuthi ke umsola wayeyicelela nje ukuthi ke asuswe ke police station asuke ke ejele ngoba ke ithimba ke labaphenyi liyamshaya amagama ke achaziwe uNcamani, uMukhola, uMabhena, uJonathan kanye noMphumulo. Mephendula ke Brigadier uthi kucaceleke uma ubheka ke i-charge sheet akukho la isho khona noma ekubhaliwe khona ke ukuthi umsola wokuqala washaywa ithimba labaphenyi.
There are no names listed in that charge sheet, my Lord.
Awekho amagama abhaliwe noma achaziwe lapho kuleyo charge sheet.
My understanding of what is documented there, my Lord, is that it is officers from Silverton police station. Hence, I gave the directive for us to investigate such. So, this new version that I'm being told, I don't know where it's coming from, my Lord, but I'm not aware of it.
Mina ke engichazele noma okwashiwo ke kumina ukuthi ke washaywa noma ushaywe amaphoyisa ase Silverton ingakho ke ngase ngithi kena ke akahambe ayekhona manje lokho okukhulunywa yoko ukuthi manje ithimba eliphenyayo into entsha kumina.
They say he was transferred from Vilera police station to Silverton police station around the 30th of June 2020.
It is, well, I'm not sure about the specific days, my Lord, but it is possible because one will remember during that time we were under lockdown, and whenever there were positive cases, prisoners at the police station will be moved around. So that could be one, but one will have to look at the OB entries to be shown, my Lord. But I will not dispute that.
Futhi ke uthi ke ngazo i-30 zika June 2020 wasuswa ke kwi-police station yase Valeria wabebethambisa bemsa kuyona yase Silverton. Uthi ke uBrigadier akangeke ke akuphindiseke lokho ngoba ke ngalesiya sikhathi lesiyana sasengaphansi kwayo ke i-lockdown ukuthi uma kwakwenzeka ukuthi ukuthi kune case ye-COVID kwi-jail noma kwi-police station ethize bese ke iboshwa ziyahanjiswa zisiwa kwenye i-police station kodwa kuzofanele ngibheke-ke ukwenza isiqiniseko ngoba ke ama-date angikho sure noma nginasiqiniseko sawo.
And it was further put to Sergeant Mukhola, that accused number 1, was kept in a single cell in Comunicado. However, in Villeria police station. However, in Silverton, he was kept with other prisoners from the 30th of June 2020 to the 5th of July 2020.
My lord, the keeping of prisoners, I think that is the prerogative of the station. I don't think we had the control over that. What we do, we detain a person, and the officers, the moment a person is detained, they take charge, my lord. So they exercise their own regulations and place people as they deem fit, my lord. And I suppose the category of the offense plays a role, but that is there. It's not our station, my lord, and we don't control those holding cells.
Okunye futhi ke okwashiwa ke ukuthi ke wayegcinwe ke eyedwa ke noma ke khona ke eVilliers, kodwa mase fika ke khona eSilverton wase ehlanganiswa ke nabanye kusuka ngaso isikhathi lesange 30 June 2020 kuyoshaya ke u5 kaJuly 2020. Mephendula ke ubrigadier uthi ke thina ke asithi nje okwethu ukuthi nje kuboshwe umuntu noma ke kugcine umuntu, kodwa ke istation ukuthi kwenzekana estation ibona ke labo abasebenza lapho abathatha isinqumo sokuthi ke bazonigcina kanjani, futhi ke necala ke olithwesiwe nalo ke liyabhekwa ke, kodwa yibona abathatha isinqumo sokuthi ke bazogcina kanjani noma bakubhalele kanjani.
And also, my lord, lastly, the size of the capacity in which the station can hold in terms of the prisoners plays a role. So, for example, if they have a small number of holding cells, you will find a number of prisoners in one cell. If obviously the holding cells are much more than the other, for example, station A, then they may spread them, particularly during that time. There was COVID, around. So I suppose social distancing, those issues will play a very significant part because it was law, for social distancing.
Okunye futhi ke kuyabhekwa ke nokuthi ke umthamo ke ongathathwa yileso station leso ukuthi bangathatha ke iboshwe ingaki. Uma kuwukuthi ke ama-cell abo mancane ke ukusho ukuthi bazohlanganiswa ndawonye ke, kodwa ukuthi uma ama-cell makhulu ke bazokwahlukaniswa ke, futhi nangalesiya sikhathi ke kwakuyi lockdown ke kwakufanele ke ukuthi ke umthetho ke ulandelwe ke ukuthi ke kubhekwe i-social distancing.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay, so you're done until what's your time now?
It's 11:15.
What time should we come back to court?
I'm not sure if the diary will be made.
2 o'clock.
The diary, my lord, to talk about the diary of the witness.
Yeah, what you said you have to have.
Yes.
When will you have it?
I was, for convenience, my lord, I was requesting that the matter be adjourned until tomorrow.
No, it's...
We can start at 2, man.
Yeah, fine. This gentleman is a busy man. He's a brigadier in crime-infested South Africa. Okay, 2 o'clock.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share, like and comment. Till later. Cheerio.